This week, Nation's Business focuses on the devastation caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston in the Northern Division and how government and the international community is working hard to ensure that essential services are up and running, maintained, and communities are assisted. Tropical Cyclone Winston was recorded as the strongest Category 5 cyclone to hit Fiji, tearing apart lives and livelihoods in its path of destruction. Everywhere, Winston's formidable winds forced people to run for cover as heavy rain pelted them, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Villages left homeless, trees uprooted, with debris and corrugated iron flying in the air. Many villages in the provinces of Mbua and Dakundrobe took the warnings lightly and failed to secure their homes on time as DC Winston destroyed everything from power poles to communication lines and roads. Their only hope was to take shelter at the nearest evacuation center. The Divisional Emergency Operations Center in Labasa, however, had been activated with a directive for the closure of the towns of Sausabu and Labasa since Tropical Cyclone Winston to hit Maduwata and Dakundrobe with estimated wind gusts reaching up to 325 kilometers per hour.
This is the weather route forecast. This morning, if you can see the red spot there, the current location.
Senior citizens at the Labasa Astrum were moved to higher ground.
Kira balik borak lu di boleh terjadi kalau lolo di maru 60 maru tolong di mata balik nerokin 60.
Bukan tu ni setapa nong kumpul, sambo kau cina na tango. Ya kalau ngatangani lambat kemami juga na singa kebaka amboni. Sin madala kasi ni tamatele we lega bala. Enu nungo ya data.
We've seen there's a lot of destruction in terms of the houses. There's a total of 34 houses altogether, completely destroyed, 16 partly damaged, and the structures at the school we came with the Ministry of Education officials, and we've seen that the school is also badly damaged. So straight away after seeing for ourselves the impact here on the ground, we have relayed the message to our national EOC in Suva, seeking for urgent assistance.
The trail of destruction left by TC Winston on mainland Bua, the Kondrabe and the northern maritime islands of Taviuni, Gamea and Lodhala was horrific.
Nangona sali lawa mai kina I sanan bo sali re na kina kuku. Buno mandanga kitore me kitore no senrani na kopani dangi batana batani.
Winston had instilled fear in the lives of the many families who struggled to steer away to safety from his grasp and will continue to retell their tales of survival to their future generation. Taviuni was the worst affected in the Northern Division, with many of its people left with almost nothing to go back to.
This is a big damage, I mean to say everywhere, all around Taviuni. We are farmer. We gone, I could say 10 years back now. Very hard, life is now very hard. Nothing left.
For those living here, it is the first time they have come across such a magnitude of destruction. Everywhere we looked, we saw ruins of what used to be homes on this beautiful island.
As you know, colleagues, the state of emergency is 30 days. That means all resources and personnel are to come on board and be part of this operation. That's a message from the Prime Minister. Leave aside the skeleton one in your office just to man the daily operation of office. So we will need most of the manpower and the resources in this operation for these 30 days. We want to restore normalcy back. So the faster we can do that, the better.
Public transportation around Vonolebo was suspended for a few days due to fallen trees, damaged power lines, landslides, and road washouts. All communication networks were down, making it difficult to get reports of the extent of damage.
Which heads can we go and meet in Sabu-Sabu? Pasirua. So timi lakabango in Bua, so lakabango. Pertona tako so bango idake. Sabu-Sabu is we to cut off Sertunga may Sabu. We need to go and meet with them. So the team that go down to Bua take all the report from there, and those going up north Sangani come down. We meet at Sabu-Sabu PA's office at 3 o'clock.
40 feet high waves crippled the Nambowalu jetty, suspending the services of Peterson shipping for a few days, while jetties in Savu-Savu and Wayevo in Taviuni also sustained similar damage. The Fiji Roads Authority quickly worked overnight for a temporary access on the Nambowalu and Savu-Savu jetties to ensure that relief supplies start arriving from Vitilevu.
Nakatagitiko na vibuke andondo saya do tigumai ke na nito sareden sa kambitong ganawa po ng buwalo na wanga ko na wangole timay na matintu may buke rawakalangay padasar na bukulitang lamba.
These jetties are the main economic lifeline for Vonolebo. In the education sector, 15 schools in Bua and Dakondrave were severely damaged by TC Winston. Classrooms, libraries, dormitories, and teachers' quarters were either totally destroyed or blown away, leaving books and other learning materials damaged, wet, and scattered everywhere.
Okay. Boleh karena tu nak tahu mai. Karena nak tahu mai. Kalian betul betul sendiri boleh. Setiap tengah hari. Setiap tengah ni opsi pada dulu. Dia kurang tengah boleh. I had a briefing with the RFMF and the engineers are going to come and do some scoping very quickly today on what can we do within the next few days to ensure that the school reopens.
Throughout Vanuatu, 68 evacuation centers were activated to shelter 4,454 evacuees who were left homeless by TC Winston. Here at Urata village in Sausabu, located along the coastline, a portion of the highway was washed away by strong waves.
Nangaunu salango, nangaunu salango tanlo tagatiwa salangma. Kami kaitu benlo ito ni lawi kenawa. Biar ada betul nawan ni bulibongo. Nak kenawa. Indo nambah sini lawi ke. Indo ngana kenawa ngai kirta nekin. Wala salango sanga mekorawa. Ngai lango menandir ngai mekelia.
Balain Rokonroko says this is the first time he has experienced a Category 5 cyclone.
Sanga kene karuwa yongo sanga isi biasa. Kono pun angko sa makana sa sana ni Gonzales sanango. Asen tak suken tamata. Na waitui.
In Sausabu, yachts were thrown inland, some landing just inches from the main highway and others onto mangroves.
I was able to stay on my boat and stay safe.
How bad was the wind?
The wind was so bad that the dinghy, which was tied in the back, was floating in the air, and the waves were coming right up to this boat. During the afternoon and evening, they were one by one blown here from down at Copper Shed and Whiting Marina. The brunt of the wind was about 10 o'clock at night, 11 and 12, but the wind moved all the way around. As the storm moved that side, the wind moved and came all the way around to this side. So it started on that side and went all the way around to that side during the evening.
I have, the stakeholders have this fear that the boats that have broken the moon and they are lying on the side of the mangroves could be looted. There's quite a few lined up around the right up to South.
We've seen on our way. We've
Whilst manpower are on the ground assessing damage, the DISMEC office in Lambasa has sent its request to the National Emergency Operations Center in Suba for emergency relief supplies to be supplied to Vanuatu. Squadron 52 of the French Air Force touched down at Waingele Airport, carrying much needed emergency supplies as the international community began its assistance towards relief and recovery efforts.
What we are trying to do now, temporarily, in the interim, to give them tarpaulins and tents so that they can go and start their life again, waiting for the rehabilitation process in terms of rebuilding their homes. We badly need tarpaulins and the tents so that people who have lost their houses, damaged their houses, could find some shelter. That is why the assistance is coming this morning. Straight away, we'll start with the distribution today.
We can bring 5 tons maximum on this aircraft, and the capacity here in Lambasa is 4 tons. And it's a good aircraft for this mission because it's a short landing.
All in all, this extensive operation has left many with sleepless nights in ensuring that assistance is delivered to the affected communities across the Northern Division. Some relief items have been airlifted, while tons of food items were also transported by sea through government vessels.
Most of the root crops, according to the surveys that was conducted, root crops that have suffered a lot during the cyclone, most of them they no longer can use it now. So the ration that is coming now straight away will be distributed to them today and some tomorrow.
Asela Sudu, a widow who lives with her 3 children, was one of the many recipients who was provided with a temporary shelter.
Kito satu ngone to wala sabaro taktu na matentu mero kina nito ngarabi ni bula kina betinani nito ngarabi buli ngone kito samai barat tu kina na wala sabaro taktu na matentu naksarbali.
As the affected communities try to return to normalcy, each sector in government has come up with its own rehabilitation program.
Completed the detailed damage assessment. And it's quite significant to see the severe damage into our crop and livestock. So we have come up with the rehabilitation program. We'll really look into first thematic areas, that is to look into the return of normalcy of the food security. Through that, we'll provide assistance on the planting material for kumala cuttings. We also look into assorted vegetables. The main reason why we have came up with this, because these are short-term crops, will be mature within 3 to 4 months' time.
Villagers who have received their seedlings were happy by the timely assistance provided by the Ministry of Agriculture. The Department of Fisheries, together with the district of Namuka in the Mwanza province, provided more than a tonnage of fish to be delivered to the affected areas in the Bua and the Kondrabe province. With rehabilitation work carried out around the island, the Honorable Prime Minister Ranke Bainimarama also made a visit to the island of Taviuni, accompanied by the Australian High Commissioner to Fiji, Margaret Toomey, and the Deputy Force Commander, Scott Hill. He was briefed by D.O. Taviuni at the Wayevo government station prior to visiting the villages that were affected on the southern part of the island. It's visits like these that brings about much needed relief and hope to communities, and an opportunity to see the rehabilitation work that is currently taking place to get people on their feet.
Tuna singa tulu sama singa mai tapa na mada sauti sama toman tal na kena ke tomaningo sana tomaninga na vida na bonua kem doi ke Taviuni manda ena singni takara rambutu ibichi na ngona takakina na kemambala na bonua ke na vi bonua ke ibichi sulikin na kakana sulikin na wai na ngona ke toman tal kina ngona tulu sama bonua singa sana lorenga na bonua e pakata ni pokaliu o kem do e buna na buna sana kai kuri tunga mekin melak tu mekin na kakana muni kana chiko me ado bone sa paka toko ta kina no muni bunwa.
Areas the Prime Minister visited were Nawakawau Catholic, South Taviuni Primary and Secondary School.
We've covered the south of Taviuni that was devastated during Winston, especially Nawakawau and Vuna and the schools. They've started to slowly recover from the assistance that's been provided by Commissioner Northern Office, especially D.O. Taviuni. So they're doing quite well. We had a bit of a problem with water, and I think we're going to try and rectify those.
At Buna, the Australian military force, through humanitarian assistance, were rebuilding schools that were badly damaged.
We've just finished delivering a number of construction materials and stores to South Taviuni Primary and Secondary School. For us, it's been an excellent opportunity to come out here and provide support to a fellow Pacific nation. It's been an excellent opportunity for us here on the ground to be able to get out and engage with the local population and assist in their reconstruction efforts here on the island. Now, I know the guys are very proud to be out here in support of an operation like this.
The head of state, His Excellency the President, Major General retired Chochi Konrote, also visited the island of Taviuni to assess the damage sustained from Winston.
Hello everyone, you look very smiling in spite of all
His Excellency was accompanied by the Commander of the Fiji Military Force and Commissioner for Police, airlifted by the Australian Air Force chopper.
We are so delighted, so grateful that we have the Excellency, the President of Fiji, visiting Taviuni, especially one of the most devastated village in Taviuni, Nalaviana. Unfortunately, we could not go down to the south to visit Obula. However, we were so grateful that he came and morale boosting. People are now starting rebuilding with words of encouragement from His Excellency. We're so delighted that he came and come and visit our local village.